and it's to simulate, right, a lack of gravity.
Correct.
Okay? Yeah.
But when you've got a screen behind you that's depicting you
But they don't.
as in space,
But they
right?
don't.
And you
That's
see a
just what you're
little
saying.
extra drop down. That's a little different from...
That's just what you're saying. There's 12 people that landed on the moon. 12 people. And every one of them was a Christian.
And none of them really speak on any of it in detail anymore.
They do. They do. And I've seen the cherry picking. I've seen the cherry picking on Buzz Aldrin, who says, "Yeah, you're right. We haven't been back. We haven't been back," and he didn't know why.
I've watched the interviews where they left the camera in the guy's house.
Look,
and we're
let me
talking
ask
about,
you, if you've been,
these guys that we're trying to interview.
hang on, if you've been to Costco 12 times, would you go again, or would you go,
Absolutely.
somewhere else?
If I was able to do something like that,
basically it's the moon.
I'd be going every chance.
Now they're concentrating on Mars. They've been sending probes to Mars. They've been doing other things. Okay, but listen, never mind about all that. We're talking about flat Earth here. Okay, so what I want you to do is tell me once and for all why storms rotate different directions in different hemispheres.
I don't understand how those things
work.
I don't.
Listen, I'm going to be harsh on you. Hang on, I'm going to be harsh on you. You told me that you don't like putting glitter on shit and then presenting it to people. Right. Correct. So what I'm going to say to you is your ignorance and incredulity are not arguments. Just because you don't know, they're not. No, because what that is cognitive dissonance, okay, and some narcissism.
No.
In the fact that you are...
This is my personal belief.
No, it does.
I don't care if you guys believe it or not.
No, I'm telling you, it's a simple...
It has nothing to do with that. This is me as a person.
Okay,
I don't go out and try and convince the entire world that they've been lied to.
You're refusing to believe what you're told here and reasonable explanations. Okay, so...
There was a lot of people that were told that JFK was not an inside job.
Do you have radios?
We just realized this year, in the past 2 years, that our own government murdered a president and covered it with a little classified sticker. We are lied to consistently, day in and day out.
What's that got to do with the shape of the Earth?
Because people lie.
Yeah, but
and they've lied for
about everything.
The entire
was Aristophanes. I can't even say it properly. The Greeks lying about it. Are they NASA? Okay, were they lying about it? 2,500 years ago, they knew it was a globe. And now we've got people that are just refusing to believe it because Israel killed JFK.
No, that has nothing to do with it. It has to do with the consistency of human nature. We lie, we do that, we deceive. It happens day in and day out. Let me ask you a
question. When was the last time you changed your mind?
The last time I changed my mind. About the localization of the sun and the moon, just probably like an hour ago.
So you don't think they're local?
No, I could see them being further out than that, but within our barriers. But again, I don't know either way. I don't know. I cannot sit there and confirm it. I mean, you could sit there and say that we went to the moon, whatever, but we ain't been to the sun either. And it looks pretty darn clear that it's not 93 million miles away. Because again, everything...
How do you know that? How can you tell that something isn't 93 million miles away?
Because that's not how light works.
You don't know how light works. You don't know how light works. Andromeda is 2.5 million light years away. Do you know what a light year is? Because I can't work it out. What's the speed of light?
Right.
What's the speed of light?
No idea.
I'll put it into American for you. 186,000 miles per second. Okay? So now translate that into years. And you can see Andromeda. It's a galaxy. So you can see 2.5 million light years away because of the size of the actual object. Okay?
And I can just go to like a Costco and pick up a telescope to see these things, correct?
Yes. Yes, you can.
I've got a
Have you
question for you,
tried?
Dan.
No, I've used a telescope before, but I've never been able to see anything of sort like
It's probably
that.
because you didn't know what you were looking at. I wouldn't know what I was looking at. Go
Just a
on.
regular star up in the sky. If it
But
can
I
see
wouldn't
that
know
far
what
away,
I
it
was
can
looking
see
at.
the stars that are
Yeah,
supposedly
but
closer.
that's why we have that's why we have astronomers and cosmologists.
Correct.
They know
But
what they're looking
my
at.
thing on it is to go to one of those things, especially here, and to be able to use those things as these professional astronomers do. It's unheard of. It's like walking into the White House type thing. It's you don't do things like that.
Look, dude,
Okay, so if
hang on.
like I said, if this was a big deal, if we did all these things, if this was such a massive achievement for humanity, I mean, these things would be in town squares, at city capitol buildings. We would be
What
wanting to
things?
show
Hang on.
this to every
What
single
things?
human all the time
Ethan,
to teach our
slow
children.
down, mate. What things?
The stars, the galaxies, the planets, all these things that are supposedly up, that are there in the sky that we can see. But like I said, I don't buy it. I was like, I've never been able to go visit one of these places where these multi-million or billion-dollar.
Have you visited Africa?
No, I have not been to Africa.
Does Africa exist? Does
What?
Africa exist?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes, I've seen.
How
I've
are
seen
you sure?
there, so yes, because I've watched people live there.
Right.
I mean,
So,
I don't need to physically be there
okay.
to
So
understand
it's
it.
only things you can see.
Yes,
Can you see the wind?
I can see what it does.
Ah, that's not
Can
seeing the
justify
wind,
it.
though, is it? So it's the same with it. It's the same with the curvature. It's the same with the curvature. You can only pick up the effects of it. As a helicopter pilot,
But you
okay.
just said
Hang on. As a
doing
helicopter
stuff that we
pilot,
don't.
wait.
I
Do you have a radio on your farm, in your tractors and things like that?
Yes.
Do you use what frequency? Okay, what is it?
It's a
VHF?
CB radio. I know how radio waves work.
Do you?
Fully aware of that.
Okay,
They're
tell
just
me the difference between
frequency.
HF and VHF.
It's a different frequency.
No, tell me the difference.
Do it like I said.
No, there's
Podcast,
a huge difference.
I don't
There's
sit
a
there. I
huge
don't do
difference.
those type of things to be able to
VHF,
function on day-to-day life.
VHF and above is line of sight. HF, I could talk to you because
Right.
it bounces off the ionosphere. You can't do that with VHF. Why not? Line of sight, curvature of the earth. Pilots taking off from oil rigs, why would they have to climb to be able to speak to land-based ATC? Why did ATC in the East Shetland Basin stick a little radar pod on the Cormorant or North Cormorant so they can see the helicopters? Because it's too far beyond the radar, and so it's got a link. So why when we're close in, say 50 miles, could we speak to ATC? But if we're a couple of 100 miles away, why would we have to climb up to 1,000 feet or even call up someone and they flying overhead would then call ATC and ask them for permission to lift? Why? Curvature. There's no other explanation. Why do VORs, which are VHF frequency, okay, why can't you pick them up when you can an NDB, which is a non-directional beacon? Because the non-directional beacon works on medium wave and you can pick that up because it follows the curvature of the earth, whereas VHF doesn't. These are obvious things, but because you're not a pilot,
Not obvious.
they're obvious to us on a daily basis. Daily basis. Okay,
correct. That's awesome.
You're not getting them because you're on a farm in Montana, mate. You're not flying about, are you? You've not had to do the work or the studies or understand it. You say you understand radio waves, but you can't tell me the difference between VHF and HF.
Well, no. Again, we covered this at the very beginning. The first couple sentences. I'm not educated, which goes to my advantage on some things, but I don't need to know direct
What's the
terms
advantage of not being educated?
Because I don't have to
Give me
be
one
told the wrong
advantage.
things. I don't have to be sit there and taught things for them in turn to not be anywhere short of correct. Does that make sense?
No. There's never a situation where I want to be less educated. Because how am I going to understand it?
You can educate anybody on anything. It doesn't make what
you're limited by their IQ.
It doesn't make what
you're limited by the level of their understanding.
True. It doesn't make what you're teaching correct and true.
Nonsense. There's a British saying: you can't educate cheese.
You can teach anybody to do anything. Doesn't make the action of what you're teaching them correct.
It's limited on your IQ.
Intelligence. Intelligence is something you either have or you don't.
Excuse me. No, that's
and you're not.
bullshit.
I don't think you're intelligently listening to the
So
word.
you can teach a moron. You can teach a low IQ, 60 IQ moron to fly a helicopter. Can you?
I'm sure it'll take an absolute miracle and a lot of work to do.
No,
but yes, I'm sure you can do it.
No, you fucking
It may not be in
That's
person.
You've never flown one. So you don't know what it takes. It's a bit like putting someone in a combine that's never driven a combine.
Correct.
Okay? If you're going to stick a moron, yeah, but a combine isn't a helicopter because a combine's attached to the surface of the earth, and it's a lot simpler.
You taught me how to
it's a lot simpler.
That I couldn't do it.
I'm not saying. Did I call you a low IQ moron? Sorry, mate. Go on.
1 second. What I think what Ethan's point was it was almost like the problem with when you're taught something is depending on who's teaching it, they might not be teaching you the correct information. And an example would be when you've got children and you teach them that Father Christmas is going to come. The child believes that, and we're doing it for a good reason, but we know it's not true. So I think Ethan's argument is
Gareth,
we're
talking about aviation, not fucking Santa Claus.
Correct.
Right, we're talking about aviation. How long do you think a flight school would last? All right, if they were teaching Santa Claus bullshit. Okay, because what you have to understand is that when you're learning to fly, you're in the classroom one day, and then you're putting it into practice. Then you're learning to fly the next. And okay, so what happens is when you go out into the aviation world, all the stuff that you've learned, do you think pilots are that stupid that all of a sudden?
No, I didn't say that.
Hang on, wait. No, I'm not saying. No, I'm not saying that you did. I'm just saying. Do you think pilots are that stupid that when they're taught something incorrectly in the classroom, that they go out into the real world and they go, well, fucking hell, wait, what's going on there? That's not right. That they don't go back to their instructors and say, hey, you told me this, you bastard, and this is a real world thing where I've got passengers and lives on the line.
Correct.
It's bullshit. The problem is, mate, is that when you don't do these things, you don't know how much you don't know.
Well, I'm saying from my experience, and it can be in any type of profession, it can be in any type of situation. If you were taught the wrong information, well, we'll stick with the aviation thing. So during the course of people learning how to fly, in the flight school, aviation school, whatever word you want to call it, when these people go out, and after they have learned the information in the classroom, and they go out and they fly, there's never been an accident, there's never been a fatality, there's never been any of those things in the history of humanity at all.
What's that got to do with anything?
They were taught correct. So, and if they went past the point where they were able to go out and replicate what they were taught,
people do not always do what they're taught.
Sometimes,
and there are unforeseen circumstances. No, hang on. A lot of aviation accidents are weather, or mechanical, and that's not.
You're missing the entire point of it. The entire point. It's diluting off to, well, this could be a possibility, this could be a possibility, this could be a possibility.
You're basically
there's always those possibilities.
That people are incorrectly being taught within flight schools. Is that the same within mariners or submariners? How about snipers or artillerymen, engineers, astronauts, astrophysicists? Are they all being taught incorrectly?
It depends. I mean, if you okay, broad spectrum here.
What do you know about those subjects?
2,000 years ago, we have someone that says that grass is blue, right? Obviously, we can look at it. It's great. But we've pushed this thing down a lot of people's throats for, let's say, 50 or 60 years, to the point that we have now convinced people that are not intelligent, right, that don't have the cognitive ability to be able to say, you know what, I'm not going to just continue to disagree with this person. I'm just going to go along with it. That's how that process starts. And then pretty soon, a couple hundred years later, now everybody thinks that what we're seeing, that isn't the color green, it's the color blue. Now we've got another 1600 years later, and one person, a group of people, maybe a couple thousand across the entire earth, stand up and say, you know what, I don't think that's really blue there, guy. I think that the grass is green. Now those people are considered fucking idiots. They're outcasted, they're imbeciles, they have no knowledge whatsoever. But I'm telling you, if you look at history, you recognize the patterns, you notice the trends of human nature as itself, understand the mind of a person, and that we are going to continue to do these things. And it's not going to just get, it's not going to get better, it's going to get worse. We're going to continue to lie and deceive and do what we want.
Hang on, Ethan, you as a flat earther, you as a flat earther are the antithesis of scientific. You guys are the opposite. Antithesis. You're the opposite of scientific progression, because you refuse to believe it. You say, I don't know this and I don't know that, but it's this. I don't know what you know, but I know that it's not that.
When it doesn't make sense.
No, that's what you're making to me. No, because I try and explain it to you.
I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh well, I'm gonna base that on faith there. No, my faith's with Christ, and that's how that's going to be. That's the only thing I trust. I don't have faith in a human. I don't have faith in anything that we have created over the course of humanity. I don't have faith in them.
Why do you ignore God's marvelous universe?
Because they fail. Everything man-made has failed.
No, I said, why do you ignore God's marvelous universe? You ignore it. You ignore.
He created. He said,
"Let there be light." He created the heavens and the earth. Okay, and that includes the universe. So why are you ignoring it just based on the words of a mistranslated book? It's not God. You're ignoring it. You're saying Jupiter doesn't exist. It's not God. How's that godly?
I firmly believe that the book is true, and not just for the personal accounts in different areas of the entire world.
So what about the Ethiopian Bible? So why is the King James Bible factual, but the Ethiopian Bible not?
Because humans have intervened on those things.
No, the Ethiopian Bible. The Ethiopian Bible is way before. It's the oldest Bible.
Correct. Absolutely. Yeah. Cool.
So why are you taking a version that has been slimmed down, by King James? That ignores the books of Enoch, which have been found.
Correct. I'm totally with you on that.
In the Dead Sea Scrolls.
I'm totally with you.
You're ignoring that.
I never said I was. Did I ever say that I was directly for King James or for?
Because otherwise, hang on, the Book of Enoch. What does Enoch do?
I have not got into those.
He gets
things.
In a ship
from the versions that I have access to right now. I am reading through this.
He leaves the earth and he says, "The circle. I see the circle of the earth." That is not included in the King James Bible.
And I understand that, but the circle of the earth, that's why, like the Arctic Circle is an compass. It didn't say a ball or a globe. It said a circle. A circle is a two-dimensional figure, buddy.
What I'm going to say to you is that you're arguing over a book when all you got to do is open your eyes. You flat earthers say that you're all...
Believe me.
But then you're not looking properly, are you? You're not looking properly.
I'm sorry that I'm not...
If the sun doesn't get smaller... If the sun doesn't get smaller, then it can't be moving away from you. Okay? It's our rotation. That's obvious.
The center point is Polaris. Everything rotates around that. They've literally shown videos of those things.
Tell me what the North Star was in the time of the Egyptians.
Can you? Polaris. When did you time travel?
It was called Drago. Because For God's sake, they didn't have TV. They didn't have Netflix and chill,
Correct.
mate.
Correct.
They had fucking stars to look at. That
So
was
how
their
do
TV.
you know that? How do you know that information?
Because they wrote it down, you muppet.
And you've seen those writings in person, correct?
No, because
I'm not relying on another human being that could possibly.
I'm not an Egyptologist. I'm not an anthropologist. I'm not an archaeologist.
Okay.
But there's enough archaeologists, anthropologists, and Egyptologists out there that go, do you know what? We agree on this. The same as those that have learned how to speak Sumerian, okay, and decode the tablets. There's lots of them working on it, and they eventually. Now, that general consensus may be wrong, but I tell you what, it was a general consensus from the Greeks and everyone else since the birth of the internet that the Earth was a globe 2,500 years ago, and I think we'd have worked it out since then. We used to think it was geocentric until Copernicus, under threat of fate and being locked up, right, when, oh, look at the planets. And who was the chap? Galileo. When, oh, hang on, I can't remember. Oh, what did he say? Do you know what? I think we might actually not be the center of the universe. And that was considered heresy by religion. So you can talk about all the people finding out grass is fucking blue, all right? Or you can actually say, yeah, it works both ways because the church shuts down information that it doesn't agree with. You're nodding, and yet you still subscribe to the same bullshit.
You're not understanding what I'm saying. I'm saying that it doesn't matter if it's a church. I don't sit there and put my faith in a church. I've put my faith in the words that are written in the book.
Yeah, but it's not the right Bible, is it? The Ethiopians have got the right Bible.
I can't even fucking speak, man.
Sorry, man, but I acknowledge the Ethiopians got the right Bible. Why are you going up for the slim down version?
Again, I understand that that one has been around for a very long time. 100%. 100%. Again, but going back to the other things, translations is a big deal there too, right? There's hundreds of versions of the Bible. There's hundreds of different denominations or this or that or the other. Yeah. I don't care about any of that crap. Why? Because it's human created. Humans have lied from the day fucking one. We've been deceptive. We have, by all means, sinned this entire time. I'm not going to sit there and entertain the thoughts of some other human that very, 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 very well may be to be deceiving and flat out lying. Because it doesn't take much. It takes 3 or 4 people to believe the lie, to then spread it to 2 or 3, 4 more people, and it branches out from there. It doesn't take long. It doesn't take long at all. That's how things spread. And then now,
yeah, and we've had 2,500 years.
As soon as something pops up like that, it spreads like wildfire. It spreads like wildfire.
2,500 years the Greeks have known. We've known it's a globe. The ancients knew it was a globe.
We have not. They thought. And then they put it into writing.
No, they didn't. They knew. They knew because they watched ships go over the horizon.
When was the telescope invented, sir? When was the telescope? When was anything to be able to depict like Uranus or Neptune? When were those things invented, sir?
16th century, but I'll tell you what, you can use your eyes and you can
That's a hell of a lot shorter than 2,500 years.
Ship going at, okay, all right.
Okay.
Tell me why lighthouses exist then. Why did the ancients build lighthouses?
With fire, I would assume.
No, why?
If it's flat, you can't see.
If it's flat, no, wait. If it's flat, if everything was flat, then within the Mediterranean, you would see every single lighthouse because it's flat, but you can't. And I tell you what, when you actually go out, listen, mate, listen, hang on a second. When we were on SAR missions and we'd be coming back, okay, and we were coming back low level, if we had like divers, like it's very rare at night, but if we just come back low level under fog, you could actually see the lighthouse light above you. Okay, that's the curvature of the Earth because we're that low and it's that long, that beam, that it's going over the curvature of the Earth and we're underneath it. Okay, lighthouses, why do you think they stuck them higher up? Because the higher something is up, you can see it better. If it was flat, you wouldn't need that. It's very, very simple. See, you're just shaking your head over this. Tell me about okay. Listen, I'm going to go for a pitch. I'm going to go for a pitch, and I want you to tell me about lighthouses. Why did they stick lighthouses the higher up? I'm going for a pitch.
Do you know what? At that moment, let's take this as a break. Let's have a quick toilet break and get a drink. I'll edit this part out and I'll put it together. But don't do anything with your screens. Leave it exactly how it is. Okay.
All right.